what Mighty Throw's pick to deal with it, and they do not hesitate. They just lock Varus.
Yep, lock and Varus. I knew it. You know who is going in the ADC role over there? It's no surprise it's going to be Sad Dragon Man, coming off of the flu right now. He'll be looking like Michael Jordan out there, hopefully. And then we also see J4 from Indefiance back in the jungle, as he should be. Never put that man on ADC again.
Don't let him cook. Get him out of the kitchen.
Get him out. No.
Ooh, I like this pick. That kind of can shut down J4 in team fights using the steadfast presence. I wonder if they flex it top or if they'll put it in the jungle. Darius ban.
Banning out the top laners here. I know. Keiko Zed, he does love his Darius. His Darius is actually really formidable. You know, we fought it last week.
I just realized my notes are incomplete on the Mighty Throws.
I can fill in on the Mighty Throws. I can fill in on that side with the Mighty Throws. You just have to help me with large skill disparity because
they banned the Katarina, and yeah, that's a worthwhile ban. Large skill disparity. Sweetwind is a huge carry if you give him an assassin. He's had an enormously powerful game on Katarina. He had like an 1100 damage per minute game on Kassadin. And yep, those two are banned out. There is Kassadin and Katarina both gone. And smartly, they're going to go ahead and take the Volibear away from Indefiance, afraid of maybe flexing the Jarvan top and putting Indefiance on the Volibear jungle.
I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, I think
I feel like some teams are really struggling with the idea that role swapping is completely allowed here. I've been asked this question so much. Wait, so can they role swap? Like, wait, in between games can they role swap? Wait, did that have to tell us the role swap? I'm like, no, we've been through this. It's simple. You can role swap. Therefore, on the lineup sheet, you just put your players 1 through 5, and during draft you can role swap, and then you line up whenever you get into the client draft. So you should take into account. And the reason why we are allowing this too.
Speaking of role swapping, they picked up the Lilia on Mighty Throws, so they might have been planning on picking up that Volibear and flexing Jarvan somewhere else, or putting Indefiance on a Volibear top. But no, now Lilia comes out, Veigar comes out, and that's an interesting pick to counter the Veigar. I do like it. It's similar to the Xerath that we saw in the last series, where you're going to poke him down from outside his range. It does give you the option to go in, and very, very powerful with lethality items, so I don't hate that pick.
And right now, looking at...
and it is going to be Indefiance jungle. Since we do require people to line up before the draft, then yes. We will know before we get into the client draft.
Yeah, I did see Red Strike say we not in order.
Yes,
so.
They are in order now.
Okay.
Right now, knowing where everyone's going, we are finally seeing in the chat some channel points being dropped in. A little bit in favor of the Mighty Throws. Looks like the underdogs.
It's actually 7.3 to 6.7. It's actually relatively close on the prediction of there.
Yeah, it was actually 7.3 to 0, and then somebody decided to really weigh in. Oh, now it's even.
Yeah.
It's even. Maybe I should throw in 100,000 points to TMT.
Okay, really genius play is to, after you see the Jace, flex the Karma mid and Veigar support. Hear me out. I think I'm cooking. It is a J4 top.
Called it. I've seen it before in certain types of games with Katsumi. He does like playing J4 top, and it's actually pretty decent into Gragas. Like, you think it wouldn't be that well, but he's pretty tanky and pretty strong even early.
And Indefiance on the Lilia. I think it'll fare fairly well. I think Lilia gives you a good mix of ways you can play. She's very, very good in late game team fights, just being able to sleep a massive number of people at once. That's a very, very powerful CC, but she does fine on early game ganks, especially through the lane as opposed to through the river.
Oh, yes, very true. I mean, I'm kind of wondering how bot lane is going to play out a little bit here.
I'd imagine large skill disparity want to pressure early and often. Just Maokai allows you to go in essentially for free. You're pretty tough to deal with that Nature's Grasp as you just run forward. But you know, Karma does a lot of poke damage, so if Karma can poke them down, Maokai can't go on without just getting deleted.
No, yes, I mean, who do you think scales better in this entire thing?
In terms of scaling, I'm inclined to favor the Mighty Throws. They have a Vhagar who scales infinitely, and especially if it's on hit Varus, very strong late game. Caitlyn's no slouch in the late game, but on hit Varus is just some different type of demon.
That's true.
So it does depend on the Varus build. I'd imagine we might see on hit. The enemy team is pretty tanky. Jace, even building lethality, is not the most easy to remove from the board. And then they have Poppy, Maokai, and Gragas. Even if it's an AP Gragas, which I imagine it would be, as opposed to the AP Maokai, he's still very healthy champion. So I think on hit makes the most sense, and playing for later, it kind of identifies with his team more. Jarvan Lilia gives you a lot of team fight options for engage.
And Lilia is a monster, an absolute monster late game.
Yeah, late game team fights. Fun fact for maybe those that are newer to the game, when Lilia on release could 1v1 Baron at level 1 because of her passive. Now, obviously, we've had some time to maybe nerf that down a little, but
unaware
no
of
joke.
That. What in the world?
Yeah, that I think it was either on release or shortly prior to release, and it got adjusted while it's still on PvE. She could 1v1 Baron because of the amount of healing from her passive. While that's no longer the case, she does still have a passive that does damage, heals, and lets her use her R to put people to sleep. So really formidable opponent, especially late game where she's healthy enough. You know, she builds a lot of burn mage items which give health, and she can go in, take a few hits, and put most of your team to sleep, and then it's kind of a one fight from there. We'll have to see in a few minutes though, because we are going to go to a short break while we wait for the spectator delay.
Isn't this banging? Give me that funky scat. This is a really interesting Champ Select song from LEC in 2021. It's a very different vibe than a lot of the other ones. And if you don't have Turbo, you're not subscribed, or you aren't using ad block for some reason, welcome back from that short ad break. I am going to try to make more of an effort to run these ad breaks during these breaks that we have. Mostly because whenever I want an ad break, it turns off the pre-roll ads for 21 minutes. Ads are poop. Hey, okay, hold on. I agree, ads are poop. I agree. And I'm not doing it to make us have more income. I'm doing it to turn off the pre-roll ads so that people that are clicking on the stream now, that are joining now, don't have to watch ads before they actually get to the actual stream. Because ideally, people that are tuning in whenever the game starts, I don't want them to have to watch ads before they get into the actual gameplay. So if I do the pre-roll ads, it turns it off in 21 minutes. So it helps a little bit. I mean, if I do that, the actual ad break, it turns it off for a little bit. We have now 18 minutes and 57 seconds of pre-roll ads being off. So something with some strats would say. Yeah, I'm actually just trying to milk as much money as possible from this. It would totally offset the money I spend. Oh, I forgot to do the end game. Oh, man. guys pause at 5?
Yes.
I am.
Alright, now give me a second. I forgot to update any of the stuff in game. So 1 second. Who's on the right side here? We have
Large skill.
LSD versus TMT. And this is game 1, so there are no dots. There should be no dots at the top. Let's zoom out. Alright, let's turn off the music. Alright, okay. Let's look at the chat. Oh, Ollie Whoops! Thank you for the subscription at tier 1. Appreciate it. Every subscription helps. And we'll go straight back to the community, as always. Alright. Let's get here. You guys ready for the countdown?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Look good.
12.
We're good.
Alright, fantastic. Let's get into game 1 between the Mighty Throws and Large Skill Disparity.
Right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be a great game, hopefully. Hopefully not one that's 40 minutes like our first game that we saw today, if you tuned into that. Or if you missed it, you probably did because of how short it was.
We also started a little earlier than normal.
Yeah, and maybe for some good reason. Everybody needed a little break after that one. Trust me, I was there. Anyway, it looks like everyone's just 5-pointing, center 5-point, but it looks like bot lane on the side of the Mighty Throws might be looking to do something here.
Yes, that Dragon Man just hidden up in that that bottom leftmost bush, just pacing around back and forth.
He is pinging. He did ping his Karma to go to that third bush up towards the red side. I don't know if it's in their best interest. I know this is something they really like to do. Initial poke here is actually pretty strong from Karma and Varus.
Yeah, my concern is can Fish Guy and Dredgeline do anything if they're able to get their hands onto either of them at level 1? I think you need to be a level 2 for Maokai to like really have an impact, right?
Well, here comes the level 1 the harass. I mean, he does get the ward down if you see on the red. So they know that Lilia is starting on her Raptors. And some initial poke there going down is actually gonna not do as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, I think the issue there is they split it onto different targets, right? I think they were a little bit not sure which one they were going to hit. Red Strike hit the Maokai, and Sad Dragon Man hit Fish Guy on the Caitlyn. I think if they had just both focused on the Maokai, it would have been better. We are seeing, so correct me if I'm wrong, we see the Comet on Sad Dragon Man, which implies to me that he's going Lethality Varus.
Yes, that is his favorite build to go. He loves Lethality Varus. I don't know if this case is the best version. We have, sometimes ran into problems where, he goes Lethality and then we didn't need Lethality, we needed AP or we needed on hit. But he is the ADC here, and I think he hope that he knows best for the sake of my points.
Seeing some just short trades back and forth. I don't think anyone is really looking to go in super early. Dredgeline and Fish Guy happy to just kind of sit and control the wave. Oh,
yeah, a little bit of
that, as I say that.
And Defiance is going to go up there. He's going to try and land some sort of stun. The flash is going to come out of the Gragas. So one flash down. Gragas is going to have to play a little bit more safer on the top side. Katsumi looking like he's going to be controlling the top lane. And
Ooh. Does Gragas get out of that? It's a lot of damage out of Katsumi, but the E is too much. He gets away.
Oh, Gragas is going to have to force the TP back to lane unless Katsumi can stop him with E. No, he will force him to back, and Katsumi's also going to take a back of his own. And say, if you're going to back, I'm going to back. I'm going to match you.
Juicebox Hero stepping up in the bot lane. A flash from Dredge. Uh-oh.
Oh my god, that was a flashy coming out. And that's going to be a red strike going down there from the Ignite. And will they be able to catch that Dragon Man? He's going to stay a little bit too long there. Ooh, he's going to be chunked out. Not going to really want the trade that he wanted there.
A simple mental mistake, I think, from Red Strike, who flashed after the Twisted Advance had already come out. which means that Maokai's gonna follow you. You can't, once the Twisted Advance has been pressed, you can't stop it. It's happening.
Yes, a very unfortunate flash there. And then Poppy's going to come back for the regank, which she's going to be seen on a ward, but it doesn't matter because Maokai's on you. And he's going to just, lie down and die.
I don't know about this, Sad
Unfortunate,
Dragon
really.
Man. Why'd you step back forward?
I don't know what the play was there. Poppy is still in the area, and you don't have any mobility. You had Ghost, so you didn't even pop it. Flash wasn't even expended. It just doesn't make too much sense there. A little bit of a greed.
Definitely felt a little bit greedy. So now they're playing from the hole, and at this point now, you can kind of expect Fishguy and Dredgeline are going to play the lane bully, right? They're a little bit ahead. When they get this next back, there's a lot of gold. Both kills went to Caitlyn. So do you expect Sad Dragon Man? Do they need to play safe and just hope to be better later, or once Sad Dragon Man has a little bit of lethality on him, can they go back to trying to win trades?
I think they're gonna have to play a longer poke game. It's gonna be definitely a lot slower. There's no way that they can sustainably duke it out, especially with Varus having Comet as his rune. If he had maybe something, if he was going on hit, then sure you could duke it out, right? Especially against like fleet footwork and stuff like that. But right now it's just gonna be. I already know what the comms are. The comms are just we're gonna slow it down, try and get a jungle gank here to try and reset the lane. But it looks like Poppy's gonna actually go up here and start doing void grubs, or I forgot what the actual term for them are.
Yeah, the void grubs. That is.
Is it void grubs? Oh,
Yes.
thank God. See, your fellow void main actually knows what they're called.
Gronk, Brady, and Edelman.
Gronk, Brady, and Edelman. I saw that clip. That was so funny. But all three are gonna go to LSD,
Yeah,
which
and that's big.
It will cause them to act later.
Yeah, In Defiance just got to the dragon, and Red Strike did come up, but if they move quickly, there is a chance for large scale disparity to respond to the dragon. I don't think they will, but it is possible.
If only they knew they really could act here, as it seemed like Veigar did want to back there, no, but instead, Jace will, and no action will be coming out to contest this dragon. Everyone's just gonna go about their day. A little bit of poke coming out of Sad Dragon Man. Not gonna be a lot, as Caitlyn doesn't necessarily need to step up. They've already basically won this lane. They just need to. They can play even here, and they'll slowly win.
Yeah, there's a lot of poke coming out. That Comet doing good work for Sad Dragon Man to just slowly take down Caitlyn's health bar. Makes engages a little bit more risky, but Dredgeline has some of the best peel in the game on Maokai.
That's very true, especially since they always have to be wary. And Flash is coming up and about. I'd say, what was that timer? It's probably like a minute from now. It's gonna come back up, and with Poppy bot side finishing her clear, she might actually come by and get that.
That's something they have to be cognizant about. Unfortunately, for the Mighty Throws, they don't have any deep wards right now, so they really wouldn't have any way to know if Poppy is just going to sit outside of that brush and come for him in just a moment. But Fish Guy almost dying there.
Ooh, that's a lot of poke on the Caitlyn. Caitlyn's going to be forced to back here, which, and this is what I was talking about. The pressure here that's being alleviated is very nice with the poke. They're playing it slow, which is what exactly they should be doing. Unfortunately, Lilia coming down is going to be wasting her time a little, as she is spotted. And she is on a ward right now. Jace does know that she is there. Poppy coming down to help.
Poppy coming down, probably just going to match. No real need for either team to engage.
Oh, but they are going to. It's going to be a big engage. She's going to flash over the Veigar wall. And, that is going to be double sleep here. It's a lot of damage. Sweetwind's going to go down, and it's only the Poppy and the Lilia. Two junglers will duke it out in the mid lane. It's my lane now. Still a lot of damage.
And so, Sweetwind gets the kill for large scale disparity, but then In Defiance picks up the kill for the Mighty Throws. Which team do you think benefits from that trade more?
I genuinely think Mighty Throws benefits from that trade a lot more. Lilia is going to be wanting these kills for her carry potential. Veigar, he would have been nice to have it, but I mean he's scaling, right? All he has to do is farm. He'll never really outscale Jace. I think best case scenario for LSD was Jace grabbing that. Jace poke will do a ton of damage to anyone, even a Lilia, even a Veigar, and you know it, it's kind of hard to say actually. Now that I think about it. I still say it goes to Lilia, but the repeat game coming here, and will the Event Horizon come up? It will. It's gonna stop the
Ooh.
Poppy engage, and it's oh, is he gonna survive? He will not survive. He's sitting a little bit too long.
Yeah, so critically there, the Event Horizon doesn't stop Poppy from pushing you. It does stun Poppy right when she hits it, but you're still pushed into the wall. And so that means Wish is just kind of stuck there.
But J4 has moved, and he is gonna ultimate here. Oh, gonna knock him out of his own ultimate. And now it's a 1v2 there, and I don't think the Lily is gonna be able to survive. A beautiful ult.
Yeah,
from
really
Juice
well
Hero.
played by Juicebox Hero there. Using they smartly go ahead and they use the Keeper's Verdict to knock away the tankier target and then immediately engage on Delilia, who's far squishier. A play coming out on the bot side now. That's Red Strike gone.
It's unfortunate, really, right now. Kind of wish we get a replay on what happened bot there. Seems like they took absolutely no damage.
Caught a little bit of it. Dredgeline was able to get the Twisted Advance on the Red Strike and put out the Nature's Grasp. And at that point, their state was, oh my goodness.
I don't think this is a good fight. Oh, this might be a good fight. A double sleep here. We'll be able to do it. Oh, here we go. Lilia's going to be able to kite her way around. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Ooh, unfortunate. The flash shot coming out of Constantine. He's actually going to get a shutdown here. And he might get the Gragas here. Ooh. Flash E. Going to let him escape. Red Strike 929 a little bit too late to the fight. Leaving one Void Grub left. Unfortunately, that whole ordeal is a win for LSD. They got 5 Void Grubs. That's going to give them the Void buff. The Voidling buff.
Yeah, they get the little Void Mites that are going to come out and help them take those towers.
Oh, TP coming out bot side from Wish. He's going to trap the Maokai. He's going to get that kill there. And unfortunately, Poppy's going to die. I believe this is going to be the death of Wish. Also, Sad Dragon is also going to probably go down unless reinforcements come in, and this is going to be a sleep. Everyone go to sleep. A block from the Caitlyn arm. Caitlyn's dead. Ooh, nice shutdown going to Karma. Poppy's going to try and escape here. You're going to do as much damage as possible. She will heal a little. Ooh, the dodge is coming out. Unfortunately, will also fall.
And not enough to get out there. That's a really, really good play. Good heads-up play from Wish to get bot side. They know that they can get the pick there, and it turns into more because Poppy elects to go in and try and kill Sad Dragon Man, and the reinforcements come just in time to save his life. That's a great play. It helps get them back in the game. The gold is almost all even back up now.
And the gold seems to have gone to the, who you relatively want it to be at. Like Lilia is getting this gold. We saw the fight earlier in the Void Grubs. J4 got it. J4 is going to become very tanky and very damaged. It's going to be a pick comp. We're going to just basically look for somebody. We're going to burst them down, and then we're going to kite our way out of the fight with Lilia. Karma poke damage, and Varus.
It looks like a lethality J4. Now, does lethality pair better into this comp here than the Bruiser J4? I would have personally thought the Sundered Sky would make a lot of sense here.
That's a good question. I feel like Constantine kind of wants that one-shot potential where he kind of just is... Because J4, in and of itself, he's still relatively tanky. He's not just going to fall over, usually. And given that the only person on that side that bursts him down in one shot might be Gragas, if he puts the Gragas far enough behind with this lethality in the 1v1, especially on top side here, then he doesn't really have to worry about it. The only person he has to worry about is Jace. We do have a bot side little scuffle here. Jace is going to come down. And a little bit of a evacuation. Everyone's gonna back here.
Yeah, Dredgeline lost his life trying to buy space, but Jace coming down does prevent them from diving Fish Guy for the moment. But Lilia is sticking around. Whew! There was Wish, and then there was no more. He got deleted. Lethality Jace doing ridiculous damage there. Now we're kind of waiting to see. Everyone's just getting settled, figuring out where we want to go next on the map. Juicebox Hero is already topside. We might see them start up that Rift Herald. It is up now.
A lot of vision bot side right now. A lot of good vision there. And not really much on the top side where you kind of want to be right now because Rift is up.
But we did see Red Strike go up earlier, but I don't think Dredgeline has been to the top side of the map so far. He's been to mid, but that's as far up as he's gone.
I think he realizes he doesn't necessarily like their top side is strong enough to, you know, take these fights without him, and he knows he's needed elsewhere. Especially getting his Caitlyn ahead. If there's one thing you want to have is your Caitlyn ahead, and Caitlyn will do major damage later on, especially with her ultimate. Ace in the
Wow, you
hole.
talked about Katsumi still being tanky, even building lethality. He took absolutely no damage from Toph and Juicebox here engaging on them. Now we see a TP in the bot side.
Yeah, so Wish gonna actually come behind him. I don't know if that was a good idea because he will get burst down here by Jace, and the Maokai is gonna come out, is gonna catch Sad Dragon Man, and it's also gonna try. It's gonna be 3 kills.
Well, it looked good for a second, but Sweetwind was there and ready to go, and just all that damage. I want to talk about that Katsumi play topside though. I mean, he took literally no damage between Toph and Juicebox here. Like, they did maybe a couple hundred damage to him, and as soon as he was able to get in defiance with him and turn around, he did so much damage in return. I guess, you know, Katsumi knows what he's doing. I was questioning maybe for a second that eclipse J4. It does not matter. He's 4-0 now. Now it's time to press the advantage.
Yes, especially on this. Like I mentioned, he is still tanky. I think the problem with is that, I mean, looking at the items here, Greg is taking Rod at the moment. I mean, this standard build, right? Standard Bruiser Greg. It's not going to do a ton of damage at the beginning. As he scales more, it will start to do a bunch more damage. But going J4 and going Eclipse is a very early mid game, and you know, trying to 1v2 that or 2v1 that is going to be very difficult, even with a Poppy. As Poppy's damage is a little lacking into J4, especially after he gets going. He's looking for more actually in the mid lane.
Yeah,
Here,
everyone's
Red
kind of
Strike's gonna take a little bit of
posturing right now, trying to get that advantage. The drag comes up here in only 50 seconds. Getting a pick and getting, you know, good prio in mid lane is important. Now, Katsumi's roaming down. He's going to get caught out on a ward.
Yes, unfortunate. Yeah, everyone's just posing here. They know Dragon's coming up soon. And this is going to be a dragon that, you know, you don't necessarily have to fight for, but somebody will lose something in return for the drag. Whether it be mid turret. It looks like Dredgeline's looking for an engage. So is Juicebox Hero.
And both teams just trying to jockey for position. I think this kind of benefits the Mighty Throws who have the generally stronger poke composition.
Well,
Katsumi decides to make things happen.
Oh, unfortunate. Katsumi's going to go down early. And Defiance is also going to be chunked out.
Okay, that's an overall big win for the side of large-scale disparity. They're able to force out in Defiance, and Katsumi just took too much damage too fast.
It was quite unfortunate. The thing was is that when he first EQ'd in, he did not cover as much distance as he initially thought, and nobody followed up on it. More or less, it's not that nobody followed up on it, it's that nobody could follow up on it. Verisalt wasn't really there. You know, Wish never got Event Horizon down to also, you know, do a big combo. And Defiance wasn't able to actually get in there to start doing damage or hit a sleep. Maokai ulti is... Yeah.
You mentioned he went Eclipse for the early pressure. He actually built Fimbulwinter as his second item. I thought it was going to maybe be just some health for the lane and then some picking up the Muramana, but no, he actually goes for the Fimbulwinter second. So he is going to be very, very tanky now with the
Yeah.
Fimbulwinter, Kindle Gem, and the Merc Treads in the back.
Because every single time he hits a Q and an EQ, he will get a shield. So he will constantly have a shield when in these team fights. And it actually makes him extremely tanky and extremely full of damage. We might see something here in the mid lane as Katsumi's going to go in. He's also going to maybe look for an R. There he is. So look at that shield. He's going to get it. It's going to force the Caitlyn flash out. Maokai's going to go to sleep here. And it looks like it might be a dead Maokai as he tries to peel his way out. Shutdown is going to go to Varus. But that's what I'm talking about, is that when Katsumi gets in there, every single time he slows or immobilizes an enemy, he is going to have that shield. And it allows him to basically fight these fights for a way longer period of time than you usually see.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount of damage still if he's able to get on top of Fish Guy. But like you mentioned, that shield was massive. Fish Guy, forced to burn the flash, had no chance of killing Katsumi at all, who came in at full health, completely undetected. And that left poor Dredgeline all out on his own. They know where Sweetwind is. He needs to be a little bit careful. But he'll walk out unscathed.
It's going to be really interesting to see as it seems like he's also building a little more tank. He knows that he has to survive the initial points in these fights to give his team time to actually do what they need to do. Because as Etoe mentioned earlier, what stopped them in that first team fight, in that first 5v5, was the Maokai R. It was the Nature's Graph stats what stopped them.
Yeah, he's trying to buy more time for the team, stay alive long enough that everyone can get in.
Okay. A little bit of a scuffle here. You did not expect two. Maokai R is actually going to come out. Poppy's going to prepare. Is not going to look for anything. A lot of peeling. It's going to take a long time as Caitlyn and Greg's now join the fight. And we see that shield start to come into play. A very healthy Katsumi is going to take out the Dredgeline. A double kill coming out. Well, not a double, but that will see a big loss unless Sweetwind can go get something. But look, Katsumi is not taking any damage. He's just here.
So close. Jay's actually able to pick up too. Toph and Fish Guy were just trying to kill this Karma, and just so much shielding was coming out, they just could not. No one opts to ride the Herald so far.
Oh, that might be a dead Caitlyn.
Does get two
That
charges,
shield is
though.
so huge.
Yeah, that shield is absolutely massive. That extra tank for Katsumi, making him nigh unkillable.
Not only that, you also have Karma Shield coming in. So you have the shield on top of shield, and then since I believe Fimbulwinter, if I remember correctly, is on a 2-second cooldown.
Yeah. It's an
like,
8-second cooldown for the
8-second
Everlasting passive.
Yeah. So like by the time the shield's gone, Karma then puts on a shield, and then the Everlasting passive is now back up.
And if he's hitting the full combo, it's a much smaller shield, but he's also getting a shield from Eclipse. This guy is, and now with the Unending Despair, he's healing as well. He's going to be so difficult to remove in every fight.
He will heal, and he will also deal more damage to nearby champs as long as he is in combat, which he will be in there for a really long time.
Yeah, no, it's looking like he's going to be a bit of a menace. They're going to have to come up with a solution for him, and they're going to have to come up with it fast.
The solution is as simple as the first fight. Now, whether or not it can be applied in this case, because the first fight was a mistake, was a mistake on Mighty Throws. But the mistake was that, Katsumi decided to go all in without waiting for the Maokai R to go through.
Yep, this drags up in only 6 seconds. Both teams getting really aggressive for this one.
Oh, it's going to stop the engage from Katsumi. And see, this is what I'm talking about. A little bit. Let's see if they can bring Katsumi down. No, Katsumi's going to R Fish Guy.
Oh,
and he's going to continue going.
The Poppy ult.
Poppy ult's going to knock everyone out. And I think this is exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah, that was so I think Poppy was able to get Keeper's Verdict onto 4, and so it left Kasumi all alone, and now it's a 4v4, but it doesn't matter because Katsumi's way more value than Dredgeline, and yeah, they're able to pick up a bunch of kills, and that's going to be Dragon over for large skill disparity.
A lot of poke coming out, but it's not going to be enough. She's going to be taken down to about, 30% health here. He actually can die here if he's not careful. Sweetwind also, if he's not careful, can also die to Varus both. But the Force Dragon is going to go to LSD. So you were talking about they have to deal with this J4 somehow. And they basically figured it out. We engage, and then Poppy R will knock out some of the key fighters during the team fights, and we'll just take down Katsumi on our own.
Yeah, I think they realized after that last scuffle, they cannot deal with Katsumi with only a few members, and they don't want to leave the damage dealers untouched. So they can't really split their forces. They decided to just ult everyone away, and then they can focus down Katsumi. And without his engage, the team fight comp doesn't quite work as intended for the Mighty Throws. Yeah, so I saw that in chat. Veigar did build a Roa.
So I've seen this in last game, and a certain someone that plays a lot of Veigar that I know said that this is the most troll thing that they've seen in a while, and that Wish does not actually know how to play Veigar. Now, I love Wish, I really do. I do not. Here's the thing, right? As Veigar, you're here to burst somebody down, right? And unfortunately, Seraphs and Roa doesn't really do that. It gives you more of a tankiness. Also, apparently he got Roa at 20 minutes. Wait a minute. Yeah, he did.
Roa's
Roa
only
at
up
20.
to 3
Okay,
stacks
yeah,
now.
no, Roa at 20 minutes. Now you're trolling.
I think Roa legally has to be your first item if you build it.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna get the Gragas here on the bot side. Nice pick, but chat's right. Chat, is this real? Did he really just grab Roa at 20?
He did.
20 minutes.
Grabs it at 23.
I don't think maybe it's something he's cooking up. I don't know. To me, it smells kind of burnt. This will be spoken about in the power rankings. Even if they win, I will flame Wish once again.
Stevie will remember this.
I will.
Yeah, I understand the idea. He's up against a Jace and a Caitlyn. That's so much burst damage just between the two. Not to mention, if Gragas gets Bumba on top of him, I get why he built it, but it's just too late to make that decision, I think. But again, maybe they're playing for late. He's saying, I've got enough. If I get late enough, my passive stacks will speak for themselves.
That's very true. This very well could go to a very late game, and then Roa did not matter when it was bought. But we'll see right now how his tankiness plays out.
Doesn't matter, not enough. Jace just flashes onto him.
Would you look at that? And a team fight coming down here. Everyone's gonna try and vacate the premises. No, but Endefine's gonna get caught out. He's gonna get Wombo combo. Then Katsumi's gonna go in. They're gonna get trade one out.
They get one trade back, but that feels really bad. You just traded your jungler, your mid laner, and your support for only the enemy support. And yeah, not having Dredgeline is not going to stop them from starting Baron. And there's no way that Sad Dragonman and Katsumi can take them off this Baron. They do too much damage, and this is going down well before Indefiance. So.
They're quite unfortunate. Sad Dragonman's actually going to poke out Sweetwind out of this. They might be able to do something here. He's going to get stopped by Poppy. Yeah, get ulted really out, and now Sad Dragonman's gonna try. I can smell the steel. I smell it. No, never mind.
It was a really well played, steadfast presence. Indiekeeper's verdict. No more Katsumi in the fight. No more real risk of a steal because Sad Dragonman steps up far enough to get that Q in there. That would be one dead Sad Dragonman.
Very true. Honestly, very well played. A little bit of a mishap there going on in the Red's topside jungle.
Yo, chat. I saw the question. All right, how many Veigar stacks do we have right now? We're at 176 at 28 minutes and 40 seconds. All right, chat. So that's what we're rocking.
Is that good? See, okay, I don't play much Veigar. I only play Vel'Koz. Is that good, chat? Chat, is that good? By the LMAO that I see in chat, I don't think that was good. Never mind.
It's Well, the problem is you can't stack if you're dead, which he happens to be quite a lot. 8 deaths on this Vagar.
Well, here we
Massive team
go.
fight coming out.
Katsumi's gonna go down. That's your front line there. And Poppy's still very healthy. Fortunately, support's also gonna go down. A lot of damage coming out. You know what? He's actually pretty tanky. He hasn't died. He only died 5 seconds after than he usually would.
Yeah, but it bought a lot of time for them
It
to just
did.
do damage. They're trying to kill that Vagar, and Sad Dragon Man's just
This is
opening
where
fire.
this is where, you know, Lilia actually shines because she can kite this. She can kite the Poppy out and actually win. All the burn damage that she does, and they're gonna get drag here for it. Not too bad, all things considered.
It's
They went even 3 for 3. Poppy will be coming back. He's gonna might try and look for something here. No,
Juicebox Hero smartly does not think he's going to be able to get that 1v2 for the steal. Doesn't want to risk it. Takes his leave of the situation.
He knows they're currently up 3 dragons to 2. They have plenty of time here. Not well, you know, even with that plenty of time, you're still on the clock against Vagar, and you know he may have died there once again, but now he has 200 stacks. 200.
And he's now going to start to do a little bit of damage as I see the Blighting Jewel and the Fiendish Codex. I can only imagine that's going to turn into a Crypt Bloom. And so now, not only is he tanky, every time he gets a takedown, he's going to heal back. This Vagar could actually become a little bit difficult.
Yes. Okay, that's going to be the death of Maokai there. And Wish is going to look to... Ooh, the Event Horizon actually going to look there. It's Flash R. That's going to be a dead Caitlyn there. And Jace is also going to fall there. They're so low.
Yeah, everybody's so low, guys. We were.
Oh.
I saw the flame on the Vagar build, but all of a sudden he's doing work.
And Gragas is the only one left standing here. They're kind of low. If he can clear this wave, he might actually be able to, you know... Oh, he won't be able to stop the tower from falling.
Yeah, they're smartly playing back Red Strike and Sad Dragon Man, respecting the power that Toph's ult would have. Not going to risk it. They're going to let their tanky frontliners get in there and zone him out. And they're going to take 2 towers for their troubles.
You know, they might even take inhib here because they're that confident. And they... Yep, there's the inhib. No, unfortunately, no objectives up here to try and, you know, continue the pressure. And with the bot wave currently kind of sitting firmly on Mighty Throw's side, they kind of need to re-push those waves back, gain control of the side lanes. Maybe look to fight 5v5 again. Seems like what went wrong in that first 5v5 was Maokai just going straight in.
Yeah, Maokai got dragged under tower by the Karma Flash and wasn't able to get out, took way too much damage. The Crypt Bloom is what comes out for Wish, and now he's got a needlessly large rod, so I imagine he's maybe looking for a Zanya's, really trying to keep himself alive in this matchup. It is starting to work out for him. In terms of the scaling, I pointed out that scaling really favored the side of Mighty Throws, and we're at 32 minutes now. This game's looking like it's still going to push longer yet. Only 1 inhib down in the entire game. So Mighty Throw's position getting better and better as time goes on.
I mean, if anything, okay, maybe I spoke too soon on Wish, right? He currently, you know, he may not have all the stacks in the world, right? But he does do a considerable amount of damage. I mean, and he's pretty tanky. You know, if other scalers can build Roa, why can't he?
And
I don't know if he should have built it.
And now it's
now it's fully stacked.
It's all the way up to 10 stacks now.
Lily is gonna try and chase on this chase. It's gonna pop the Edge of Night. They're gonna look to try and defend this top tower. I feel like a loss here in a team fight will spell the end for LSD. They're gonna lose the top turret there, not too much.
Yeah, we're at the point where people can start to take Baron. We're seeing a scuffle come out here.
And Katsumi is just making his way in the bot side here. He's gonna be able to take that tower relatively fast. And they're gonna start rotating the bot side to try and catch him out, but that's gonna leave the top turret just to be defended by Sweetwind.
Yeah, everyone doubling back now. Fight could be brewing in the top side as Poppy stepping forward. Juicebox here caught in the event horizon.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of damage going down. That's going to be the Drowsy. He's going to have to flash out. The TP coming in from Katsumi. He's going to get immediately Keeper's Verdict out of there. We do not want anything to do with you. But that does give them the option of forcing Baron here.
Yeah, Mighty Throws starting up the Baron now. They do decent damage. Sad Dragon Man not on hit, but still able to output a decent amount of damage. Red Strike trying to buffer now. Baron's getting low. Sweetwind gets onto the back line. Here comes Toph.
God, this 5v5 is looking kind of like a menace. And Defiance is going to have to kite his way out. The ultimate coming out from Katsumi, another flash coming out of Fish Cat. But they're kind of tanky, and they do not care. Katsumi is going to get another kill there. And Wish is actually tanking the Poppy damage. He does not care. The Seraphs is going to pop, and everyone's going to just TP mid. We're just going to end. Poppy can't stop us. Wish is going to take it upon himself. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to end it for you guys. Don't ever talk down on my Veigar again. He will be getting glazed.
Yeah, Wish gonna go in there, and he does quite a bit of damage to the towers just because at this point he's got that much AP. There's nothing the Juicebox hero can do at this point. No Keeper's Verdict, can't even get rid of the wave. Just gonna get CC down, and the game is over.
My god. That was still a lot of damage. Huh. Wow. Chat.
Guys, I think you owe Wish an apology, chat. Y'all was clowning him.
Yeah, we may have clowned Wish a little too hard. Can y'all put Stevie up in volume? Yeah, man. Y'all, you silenced the boy for real.
No, I did not. I have Stevie as loud as possible. Is he seriously quiet to you guys?
Silencing me for real.
I have Stevie as loud as possible.
I'm in the call with him, and I had to turn him up.
Yeah, no, so. I have him blasted. He is blasted
Etoe
right now.
tried silencing me in power rankings.
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's
man,
guys blame Etoe.
Yeah, it's me. It was me. Most damage in that game being done by Sweetwind, but not enough.
I feel like that's a consistent theme in all of large-scale disparities losses.
Look, I spoke about it.
Still does the most damage in the game because he can, and he's like that.
I spoke about it really heavily during power games. Sweetwind is not someone to mess with. He did his job this game.
The only Sweetwind game that I did not like was when he played Lux. Listen, Sweetwind, I used to one-trick Lux. I would love for Lux to be good. She's not. Don't play her mid, bro. Don't do that again. That was
crazy.
Weird.
You know who should play mid instead? Vel'Koz.
Vel'Koz.
I'm telling you, Tank Kaz. You thought Tank Veigar was fun? Tank Kaz is even better.
Yeah, keys to the game there, I think, is scaling. A really, really strong early game from large-scale disparity, but eventually, there just enough gold went into the hands of the Mighty Throws, and they, at that point, their champions were stronger. Yes, they were behind until then, but once the gold evened out, they have way more stats on their side, so a pretty tough position to come back from once you let them back into the game. I think for large-scale disparity, for that to work, they needed to win and keep winning. And once you lost a couple of team fights in a row, I think it was kind of a wrap from there. Mighty Throws just put a bow on it.
Yeah, very good victory by Mighty Throws. They stuck to how their team comp should play. They adjusted accordingly, especially Katsumi. You know, when he did end up going in those last team fights, he was there, and you know he was saving his ult relatively late into the fight, just letting his raw tankiness hold out until he needed to, you know, just slap somebody in the face, and it would usually be the Caitlyn or just anybody trying to get onto their main damage dealers. Very well done, honestly.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're still waiting to get set up for game 2, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back fairly shortly. We just got to take a short break.
have the link? I gave you the link, right?
Yes, you did.
I think we'll be good to start here soon. Looks like everyone said ready. I see everyone saying ready. The draft hasn't started yet. But yeah, Stevie had to step out, so I will be unmuting my mic for this match, for the rest of this match. And okay, here we are. We are started. Here we go. Game 2 between Large Scale Disparity and the Mighty Throws. Large Scale Disparity now on the blue side.
Large Scale Disparity banning the Jacks, or not the Jacks, the Zach rather. Different 3-letter word.
Yeah. Yeah, what are some keys for the draft here, I wonder, for the loser team? Looks like the thing that they're going to change up, they are going to ban away Varus. We're going to see pretty much the same bans. In fact, Nautilus is open!
Nautilus is open. Dude,
Nautilus is
blue
open.
One. Are they willing to use the blue one
Nautilus
on
is...
Nautilus? Your guy is named the Dredge Line. I feel
Nautilus
like
is... Oh, baby! Yeah! You best to believe!
Oh, no. We talked about keys to the draft. I mean, maybe just take your best champ and run with it.
Nautilus is open, okay.
And
the Dredge Line, that's his namesake.
If they're willing to blind some, high prio, high damage pick for Sweetwind here, they can get away with this. They focused those bans two supports, and neither of them being Nautilus.
Yeah.
Ooh,
they're saying, here's the thing, they're saying, prove it.
Yeah,
prove it.
Okay. I like it. You think that Jarvan goes back to the top side? I think that Jarvan goes back to the top side.
I think Katsumi did amazing with the Jarvan. I don't know why he would have put it back in the top side. Did fantastic with it. We're going to see the volley bear as well. Okay, so also taking away a volley. I mean, I'm not sure if it's necessarily a takeaway, but you can say that you're kind of taking away from Indefiance, potentially.
Yeah, you
and the Kassadin blind.
Kassadin blind, and we saw what Sweetwind can do in that Kassadin. I'm a little concerned because I do feel as if the last time I saw Juicebox Hero on the Volibear, he felt a little bit invisible. I'm hoping he'll have a bit more impact either early or late. You can kind of do both as Volibear.
Whenever you're playing someone's main against them, you really got to make sure you know what you're doing, because they know what you should be doing.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, Indefiance knows what you should be doing, right.
And Wish gonna pull out the Cassiopeia. I think it's a pretty smart pick. It can stop the Kassadin from R'ing in if you place the ground well.
You do ground.
And we saw it last week. Cassiopeia had some pretty game-saving plays. Those positioning on some of those ults was fantastic.
Was that Wish
so I do
also
like this
playing?
pick. It was also Wish.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, Cassadin. What does OP.GG think about this matchup here? I was like, it's not what I thought. I can see how the thought because of the grounding, but I would still think that Kassadin is fine with that matchup. To me,
yeah, I'd imagine he's fine with that matchup, but it might be that this is just a pick that Wish is comfortable with, that he knows he can still have impact
and it's still
on,
good with,
even
it's
if
good
he
with J4. You can stop people from flashing out of J4 ulti.
It can also just be good. Cassiopeia can be fine even if they get bullied out of lane. They generally
a lot of
okay
ADCs gone here. A lot of
lots
of ADCs gone here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The Mighty Throws gonna pick up Xayah for Sad Dragon Man.
What ADCs are left? 6 ADCs are gone. 7 have been picked. Who do you pick? I'm sure they're wondering as well. Oh, that's a lot of ADCs gone, isn't it? You're probably thinking, wow, that's a lot of ADCs.
There are 6 ADCs, and then Xayah's picked up. They decided to pick up the Kled on the top side to help deal with that J4.
Do you have a Kog'Maw, a Jhin? I mean,
Jinx hasn't been picked.
Yeah, is Jinx and Fish Guy 177s?
Do you want Jinx Nautilus? I don't know. Zeri, okay.
Oh, Zeri, okay.
Traditionally pairs better with Enchanters than with Engage, but Zeri can get early presence. I think she does fine into the Xayah. Xayah is able to kite away, but Zeri doesn't have to all in. Zeri also plays just as well backwards. So I think it's fine. It's not an ideal pick, but I don't think you're gonna get an ideal pick when this much of the ADC champ pool's banned away.
Yeah, this is a lot of ADCs gone. Gonna go to the Zeri. Interesting. Gonna see the Vi as well. Vi jungle. Okay. For Probably. We'll see who ends up in that bot lane. We don't quite know yet if it will be Indefiance or Sad Dragon, man. The Mighty Throws have been swapping the jungle and ADC back and forth for the first few weeks here of the BTL season. So it's interesting to see. But, I mean, I think the big thing is to see... I mean, large skill disparity, this is an interesting game. Because you got Nautilus. Like, you gotta have to prove it. Because, honestly, I think if you have a one trick on your team and you are able to pull that ban every week, it's actually an advantage. Because most of the time, it's just, it's an advantage to make a team ban the same champion every single time, no matter what.
Yeah, it's like having an extra ban because at that point you or giving the enemy team one less ban because you know it's kind of both because you know they're gonna ban it, so you don't have to worry about playing against it.
Right.
And you don't have to. Your planning doesn't have to go around playing that champion. You can plan that you know it's gonna be banned, and so that significantly improves your draft prep. Right. So being left up here, this is a chance for the Dredge line to turn around and say, "There's a reason this is banned every week, guys."
Yes, yeah. So I mean, honestly, you got to prove it. It is a statement game. Because if this doesn't happen, because right now, large scale disparity have been essentially getting the respect to get 2 picks banned against them. That's a large part. That's a big advantage in the draft. If they fall short here, maybe teams don't ban Nautilus anymore, and maybe you don't.
Yeah.
You probably don't want to pick Nautilus every single time he's up. So you kind of have to do really well here, in my opinion. I feel like you really have to.
Yeah. I am concerned. Fish Guy, pulls out the Zeri. It's not a bad pick. It's one of the stronger ADCs on the path.
I wonder if you did what I just did. Did you look up whether or not he has games on it, or?
I did not look up whether or not he has games on it. I'm looking at our ADCs, looking at Emerald Plus win rates for ADCs right now.
Oh, okay, looking at that.
And looking at one that sits very high atop the charts, and I think pairs pretty well with Engage. And that's Neela.
Neela? Oh, I don't think I've ever seen this guy 77 play Neela. I at least see one game.
It's not a common pick for a lot
that's
of players.
Fair. I at least see one game on Zeri. I don't think I've ever seen Fish Guy 177 play Neela. I would say Jhin. I have seen him play Jhin. Back when I used to play with him on my team, I did play we used to pick Jhin a lot. So I was thinking Jhin, but I personally don't like Jhin in general. I am a hater of Jhin. I don't like to see Jhin. I've seen Jhin do well, but personally, it feels like it's so much harder for Jhin to do well.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty difficult for Jhin to do well.
Tanks and you're like, oh, well, my Jhin feels like it does nothing.
It's so easy to counterpick him because he doesn't have an option in his build. He is just, whether he's crit or lethality, he's just burst damage. Like, he cannot damage over time. He cannot. He only has one play style. He's a very one-dimensional champion.
The
so
opposite
he's either
of
good
like
or
Varus.
bad.
The opposite of Varus. Right?
Yeah, he's the opposite of Varus. Where Varus is like almost always okay because you can pivot and you can play different.
Right.
You're playing Varus. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go lethality, and then they pick a bunch of tanks. You're like, cool, I'm gonna go AP.
I think this is all about large scale disparity. Like lost last game, but I would say pretty heavily won the early game.
Yeah, very
then got outscaled. They weren't able to transition that lead early game into a victory, and I think that that's the key of the game for them. If they can they showed a lot of coordination. They got a lead in bot lane. I think Caitlyn probably wasn't the best person, just pick in that spot. I wish there was a champion that did a better job of doing damage to the front line of the Mighty Throws. I felt like at some point Caitlyn was just getting dived and was not doing any damage to J4. Like Caitlyn was ahead but didn't do anything with that lead as a champion. Like imagine if that was Vayne instead or something like that, where Vayne does damage no matter what, or like a Kog'Maw or something. I'm not sure what I was thinking
of. I think the criticism, if I go back and look at the draft, is I agree with you. They have no real way to eliminate frontline. I think a lot of that comes down to the Gragas.
Gragas could have been something else.
Gragas could have been a different bruiser. I think the problem with your traditional bruiser Roa Gragas is that they really don't do that much damage. And with as much as Jace did a ridiculous amount of damage, a lot of it was all in bursts. And so if you couldn't instantly remove J4, his team was going to just destroy you. They needed someone that could run Leandries, honestly, that game. Run Leandries and then pick up the Oblivion Orb, and that just shuts down so much of that healing. That makes your life a lot easier. I think this game, the focus for them has to be they have a not a necessarily discordant draft. It's a little bit all over the place. It's probably a bit more comfort though for most
Very
players.
much so.
Probably,
Go in.
probably
If you have
not for
Pledge,
Sad Dragon,
you're
man.
going in as a group, and I think they need to get casted in far ahead, just like they have been getting Sweet Win ahead. I think you got to make sure the Sweet Win doesn't get shut down here. But
Yeah, I think they need to make sure that since it looks like Sad Dragon Man Zeri's probably not necessarily a comfort pick. It has like a game of Zeri. You need to put him in a position to be like comfortable in the late game, and you have early game picks that are strong. You have a Nautilus, you have a Volibear, and to an extent you have a Kled, right? So these guys can fight pretty early. You need to take advantage of that and be more active on the map than your enemy team. And you don't necessarily need to be constantly taking and winning fights, but posturing yourself to get in a good position that once that Zeri hits 1 or 2 items, you're able to win fights. Don't let yourself, one, you cannot fall behind. Vi has a lot of agency early. Jarvan, as we saw, is able to win fights in that top side. And Xayah is hard to gank. So you're not necessarily going to be able to put people ahead, but you need to just it's going to come down to a macro game. I think whoever plays the better macro here probably wins.
Yep. And we will see soon. We're going to go into a short break as we have analyzed this through a little bit of the spectator light. So we'll be back here shortly with our second game of the series.
Sure am.
I am not. I am positive 6. I missed it. Hold up 1 second. I will go back. All right, now I am positive 5. Are you ready for the countdown?
Yes, sir.
Wait, the stream doesn't see anything. There we go, stream. All right. This is game 2. The Mighty Throws took the win in game 1. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then let's get into it. Game 2 between Large Scale Disparity and the Mighty Throws. Let's see what they do here at level 1. Again, all eyes on the dredge line on Nautilus. You gotta do it, man. You're on the
prove
champion.
it.
You gotta prove it.
You might lose that permanent ban. Now maybe that's.
I mean,
Hear
we'll
me
see.
out.
Yeah, I mean, it's
maybe
pros
it is
and
an
cons.
okay game, but listen. Ultimately, the big thing is they need to win this game to keep themselves in the series. So
Right.
you're looking to the dredge line, who I generally see as one of the best supports in the league.
Yeah.
You need to see him have a pretty standout game. Dredgeline always seems to kind of find himself in good positions, and that's definitely comes down to a lot of player knowledge. I think he knows his matchups pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we discovered that whenever we interviewed him in week 1. He gave us a lot of insight.
Yeah, he seems to really know his stuff, and so you're looking for him to have a good game anyways to help get his team back in the series, but so much pressure when you're on the one trick.
Yeah. Whenever I think their team channel message through all of week 1 was just like, please don't ban Nautilus. Please don't ban Nautilus. and then every team has banned Nautilus so far. This is the first time in week 3. So they've gone through maybe six or 7 games of Nautilus has been banned every single time.
Importantly here, the Wolves start for Juicebox Hero, not gonna take a
Interesting.
leash. That does mean Dredgeline and Fish Guy get to lane just that second earlier. Might matter, might not. We see some trading come out in the mid lane. I think you touched on it. Sweet Wind generally is probably going to win out this matchup. I think it all comes down to what Wish can do in the early game. Wish does take the level 2 first.
Yeah. On OP.GG, this matchup actually is Cassidy in favor. He does win.
Imagine it is, even with the ground. I mean, Cassidy, all he has to do is just not stand in it, and then he can R past it.
Right, exactly.
So it's going to be a difficult matchup for Wish, but I think Wish has enough utility that they're going to be fine late game. Even if they get bullied a little bit, they just can't give too much of a lead because Sweet Wind is a snowball like no other.
Yeah, he will take the lead and run with it for sure. He's very aggressive. If we've seen anything, there's one thing to describe his playstyle, and his champion pool is aggressive. So if he gets a lead, he will push it.
Yeah, aggressive is definitely a way to put that. I mean, last game there was multiple instances where like, there's Wish. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah,
and
does not miss an opportunity to potentially get a kill. We'll go for it every time.
Just a bit more farming coming out on the bot side. Fish Guy trying to poke out his opponents, but not a lot of damage on the early game.
Oh my god, I thought he missed that. But how dare I think that? Who do I think he is?
Yeah, he knows his ranges, and because of that, Red Strike low on health. That's a big deal.
I'm sure they were also surprised they were hit by that, because that looked max range.
Yeah, we talk about the lollipop. For those that don't know, there's a small little ghost visage of an anchor that surrounds the actual anchor.
Trust me, Dredgeline knows all about this.
And it will hit. Specifically champions. Fun fact: only the actual anchor affects terrain. That small little lollipop only hits champions.
I
believe it was originally. I believe it was originally coded to help deal with. Here comes a gank. Juicebox here coming in behind him. Red Strike has to go in to a minion, but doesn't matter. He's ultimately going to go down. Does buy enough space for Sad Dragon Man. Dredgeline! I think he took the kill with Ignite. That sucks. But regardless, you do take first blood. Some supportal combat comes out, and Dredgeline says, better ban the Nautilus or first blood is mine. He's going to walk under tower, and it just does not matter. Gets rooted, but not enough damage. One more tower shot would have done it, but Dredgeline able to safely Dredgeline out. And that's another kill for the LSD bot lane.
Yep. To be expected. That whole lollipopping thing about Nautilus, I remember hearing Dredgeline, like I know him in person, right? Like explain that to me like 7 years ago. Like back whenever we were in college. Talk to me about the weirdness of Nautilus hook.
Yeah, it's a fun little hitbox. Fun fact, if someone is right on top of a minion, you can hit the champion through the minion because the lollipop only affects champions. A really, really deep ward came out from Defiance.
Oh my goodness. I was like, wait, what's going on right now? But look at that ward. Okay.
Look at both those wards. Really good vision, good knowledge for the red side here. Katsumi gonna teleport back up, gonna try and establish some lane priority as Toph walking back to lane like a plebeian.
Red Track also a very good support in his own right, by the way. So I do like these support. We actually have a lot of good supports with learning, playing support for Spectre as well. A lot of good supports in the season. So we're seeing that a lot of roaming, a lot of playmaking, a lot of I guess maybe it's also just a bit of a commentary on the season. Is that a lot of supports are just making a lot of things happen.
Yeah, support has a lot of impact now, and you know what? I get why some people wouldn't like it, but I do think supports being able to impact the game is generally good because you're seeing the value of knowledge, and Fish Guy is just stuck to Sad Dragon Man.
And Juicebox just smites it away. What has happened?
Juicebox! Rude. How dare you? But now you got 1 kill on 3 different members of Large Scale Disparity. They're up 1,000 gold here at 6 minutes, and that's pretty good. They are ultimately going to trade. We're going to handshake those first objectives. Grubs going over to one side and Drag going over to the other.
Jordan said, "Not sure where we were walking, but we will recover." Yeah, not sure where Sad Dragon Man thought he was gonna go there, but
ultimately unsure of his ultimate destination.
right. Turns out it was a fountain.
Yeah, man decided he had too much color on his screen, needed it to be a little grayer. I think we're seeing just so much control out of Katsumi in this top side. No real action has happened there, but a 20 CS lead out
Similar
now
to
for
what
the
we
J4.
saw last season, last game. We saw this last game where Katsumi also just had a massive lead up in this top lane, massive CS lead. CS discrepancy.
Yeah.
Did a very good job with this.
Yeah, it's really, really important. The amount of XP difference is, I think, honestly the bigger thing up here in this top side, because getting those early levels and being able to move. Oh, never mind. I'm going to stop that thought as Dredgeline hits a Dredgeline. Ultimately, nothing coming of it. Red Strike tanky enough in his own right. But the XP difference in the top laners, I think, really helps with their roams, especially once teleports are unlocked. Are we still seeing this season enough of the top lane priority where top laners make that big difference with the teleports? Oh, out comes the Vault Breaker. Stunned, and Dredgeline, does he get out? He lives! Talk about that one-trick knowledge. Man knew exactly how much time he had to get out of there. That's what I'm choosing to believe. No luck involved. He knew he was good to go from the start. Full control of the situation. And now Fish Guy at level 6 is safe to just sit there and clean up the rest of this wave. I don't think they can dive.
Wow, I'm very surprised no one died there. I'm sure they're surprised no one died there. Cassidy also in the area.
Yeah, anyways, now that excitement's over, I'd love to get your thoughts. How do you feel about top laners in this season? Obviously, we talked about supports have a lot more agency now. Does this big top lane lead really matter?
I feel like last game would say that yes. I think Katsumi got ridiculously strong from off of this lead. I mean, it really depends on who the top laners are. If you're playing someone that doesn't need as much money, but I feel like Kled definitely doesn't want to be this far behind. I don't think Kled's you could play like an Ornn, right? And it never really matters how far behind you are.
Yeah, the classic Malphite duty.
Yeah, exactly right. But this is not Malphite or Ornn in this case. So, and also with Grubs being so important, I feel like you just don't want to be that far behind and stuff. Ooh, Wish not gonna be able to land that ulti there.
Sweetwind going back in. Here he comes.
Super aggressive.
But In Defiance is here too.
Oh, he is gonna go for the kill, but
he just wants the kill. Can he get it? No, the tower gonna shut him down. Very, very close though. Wish having to use both summoner spells, the Flash and the Ghost, out for the Cassiopeia.
I knew that there was no chance Sweetwind was going to try to get away. I knew that there was no chance he was going to be ulting away. I knew that he was definitely going to go for it, going to go for the kill. Is not able to get it. It was a good flash there from Wish to avoid taking damage from casting his Riftwalk.
Yeah, really, really well played. That few hundred damage makes the difference there. Wish got so low, even with all the help they were getting. I think that speaks a bit to Sweetwind. Just like you said, aggressive, and he's never going backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Some pings onto the Grubs.
Yeah.
Also,
they're
just wait. They were just next to each other. Didn't touch each other. Handshake. We're gonna walk past each other, right? We're just gonna.
Neither one really wants to fight the other. I think that's smart.
Because they're running straight to Grubs.
I think that's smart for Dredgeline there. I think he knows he's being followed. I'm sure the call-outs are
we going to see a Kled ulti here?
Oh, he goes in. Dredgeline comes down. Out comes the passive route. Doesn't matter. So much CC being layered down. Katsumi able to go in, but In Defiance burst down. Sweetwind able to R away. Dredgeline now on top of Wish, who goes down as well.
Well then.
Really, really big win for the blue side. That's going to let them pick up these next 3 Grubs. How does that change the next few minutes of this game?
I mean, they have to push the advances. If you're going to get Grubs now, they have to take their leads. They have to win these early game fights and turn those into objectives. And I think that makes a really big difference. I think if you can do that, that's going to be the difference between having the lead early and then getting outscaled late and then actually winning the game. Oh my God!
This guy, a massive all. He gets rooted, but that's not enough. Sad Dragon Man, no more, and
Oh!
0-3 on the Zaya. That definitely hurts. Zaya can scale all right, but you don't want to be this far behind it for your ADC. They're gonna struggle.
Okay, Fish Guy
They're
plays this
going
character.
to-
All right.
Yeah, we said, does Fish Guy play this character? Fish Guy plays this character.
this
He's
guy
3
knows
on
what
his
he's doing,
Zeri. And most importantly, both ADCs on their first item, Power Spike, Fish Guy did not have to sell his starting item to get there, and he just picked up full boots. He's so far ahead of the Zaya right now.
Yeah.
1,500 gold at least to speak.
Good to see the first dragon for the Mighty Throws being started up here, and the Dredgeline is just kind of prancing back and forth. Letting his presence be known, just looking at them, and then...
I can feel the comms. Just, do we want to fight, guys? Can we should fight this? You guys want to fight?
But he's alone. He's 100% alone. I'm sure.
Juicebox is like, bro, I'm in Fountain. Nah, he's like, nah, we fight this. I swear.
I feel like those are the comms on the side of the Mighty Throws too. Like, is he alone? Should we fight him? Is he alone?
Should we fight this guy?
Like, is he alone?
I mean,
We
this
can fight this
a
guy,
lot
right?
of damage. The root comes out for Sad Dragon Man. Out comes the ult from Braum. Dredgeline slowed
Ooh,
too much.
a
My
lot of-
voice cracking just like just like poor Dredgeline's armor. No more. Katsumi doing good damage. Toph gonna get knocked off the
taking that
Scarl,
fight.
but I think that's as far as that one goes. Juicebox Hero getting good damage onto In Defiance. The stun comes out, but they are outnumbered.
Ooh, that-
Great damage from Red Strike there.
Something
Neither
maybe
top
almost
laner
interesting
able
happening.
to edge out the other.
Interesting.
Just barely keeping each other. Just barely keeping each other. Damaged enough to be sad about it, but not damaged enough to die. Have to be careful here. We know how quickly Katsumi can just get on top of his opponent. He's very good at this early game Jarvan. He's up so much farm now. Sweetwind opting into the
he's
fight with
double his
Toph.
farm.
The
Flame Horizon in the top side.
The ultimate comes out from Wish, but it entirely whiffs there. Katsumi tries to go in, but Toph has Scarl back, so they are relatively safe. Even if they lose trades, Scarl keeps them super safe. Wish, again, opting for trades here, and
they're looking
now
for something aggressive
Sweetwind
now.
has friends. Juicebox and Dredgeline are here. Lots of good damage.
Ooh,
Wish
Flash is
goes
back.
over the wall. Sweetwind to follow, but I don't think that's good for you, buddy.
Woo!
So much damage from Wish, and
Oh, the camp!
Get down, Mr. President!
The camp. The Raptor.
Man,
Okay,
Raptor
Wish playing this
saving
well
Wish's life.
in the mid lane there.
Yeah, Sweetwind,
Able
we
to
talked about
survive that.
aggressive. It's worked against him twice. He is 2 of his team's 3 deaths.
Oh, the aggressive was both a compliment. It was both. There are pros and cons to being
It's
that
a
aggressive.
double-edged sword.
Yeah, pros
so
and
to
cons to
speak.
being that aggressive. I believe in the
LG.
Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Everyone back to kind of just vibing in their own lanes again. Unlike last game, I don't think any plates were taken so far. And ultimately, so no big gold discrepancies coming out there. Gold still hovering around 1,000 in the favor of large-scale disparity. Juicebox Hero coming topside now. Katsumi gets vision of it, gonna back away. Not hit by the Sky Splitter, and ultimately gets out relatively easily.
Yeah, there's no reason
Able
why
to
he would
stop
let
Juicebox
you
Hero's back.
recall. There, it's just like, yeah,
He's
I'm
just gonna-
poke you.
He's just gonna throw out
He's gonna
all
do it
drag,
again.
no
Yeah, why would
flag.
you-
And out comes the flag. to
Juicebox,
stop
walk
another
away.
flag. Ooh, Fish Guy took a tower shot. That might be important, but no one around to capitalize on it. In Defiance walking up. They got more than enough vision, it looks like. Large scale disparities gonna back away. We see Dredgeline hovering mid here. Got spotted out. Wish knew he was coming.
That is something that they do have to
Ultimately,
do. They
everyone
have to keep
playing,
track of Nautilus. It is part of. They have to have good vision, keep track of Nautilus. You know that he wants to roam and make plays a lot. So part of the game plan is definitely should be to keep track of where that Nautilus is. Where is that Naughty Boy? Ooh, good dodge there from Sad Dragon Man.
Yeah, Sad Dragon Man. And able to
punch
trade
it.
back a
Uh-oh.
lot of damage.
They don't have numbers here actually.
Yeah, Juicebox, you overextended a little bit. The pass is coming out. Out comes the cease and desist. And cease to exist. Goodbye, Juicebox Hero.
Not able to get the ulti over the wall. Very good collapse there as the Kassadin stays mid and pushes out.
Yeah, Kassadin stays mid, pushes out, getting collapsed on now. Oh, Toph going a little far forward here. Katsumi able to get damage down
in the top lane at these people, at these two fight, and no one dies. They just
no
fight.
one dies.
And they're like, all right, well, good fight.
Someone might die. Toph gets out of the calamity, but it doesn't matter. Flag, drag, and you're gone.
Ooh, all right, somebody died.
And that's really, really good for. I mean,
it's such a massive lead in this top lane, and they're kind of just like letting it happen. Like part of large scale disparity is thinking they're just gonna play. They're playing super weak side top, and they're just letting it happen. And honestly, at some point, J4's gonna become too much of a problem. Like Katsumi's gonna be. It's like you don't see him because he's only staying topside, but late game you'll be like, "Whoa, this guy's super strong.
Yeah,
where did this happen?
Guy come from? Why did he get so much gold?"
It's like, wait, when did this happen? This guy's a monster.
There's a dragon now, and the Infernal Dragon coming out. The dive in the mid lane, though. You're gonna wish you were a little safer, buddy. 4, doesn't matter how good that ultimate is. Petrifying Gaze, not gonna keep him alive this time. Looks like they're getting ready. They're gonna try and push onto this tower, take it out. They do have 3 Void Grubs. It's gonna help them in their endeavor.
Nope, not able to get the tower.
Red Strike and Sad Dragon Man able to push them away.
Okay, move the in-game chat box down. You want to move down?
Katsumi going in on the top side, fighting Toph once again. At this point, he's just so far ahead. Why not? Goodbye, Scarl. A fight brewing in the mid lane. Dredgeline able to get good CC down, but Red Strike gets his ult out. Sad Dragon Man gets feathers down, and now a TP coming in for Katsumi, who immediately Calamity's in. Boom! Zeri gone. Boom! Another one down. Juicebox Hero is no more. And this is starting to look really, really good for the Mighty Throws.
A hold bar, but a good teleport in and a play from J4 there. And able to collapse on Fish Guy 177, giving him his first death of the game.
Yeah, Fish Guy, still, I would say, looking fairly good at the moment. Gets caught in the Calamity. But, now, we talked about what's the game plan for large scale disparity to win this game. We talked about like winning and keeping winning, but they were up what 8-3, and now it's 8-7. It's been I think they've gotten one kill over the last
faster than
so many trades.
Game.
What does large scale disparity need to do?
I think their scaling is not as bad. They're not as outscaled this game as they were last game. So, especially with the especially with the Kassadin, I think that they're still okay. They kind of have to, let's see, they're behind on objectives, but they did get the Void Grubs. They're going to have to kind of play pretty normally. Play around, I think Zeri got a good lead early. Maybe play around where you have the lead and try to, I don't know. They have a, what's it called? Like a snowball comp, a speedball comp. They have Kled. And they have ways to go. They have Kled. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. They have Kled. They have Volibear. They have Sweet Wind. They have Nautilus. At some point, they're gonna want to be able to try to catch somebody out. We've only seen, I think, only one ulti from Kled so far this game, and I think you want to see more than that. I think the way that they want to play is gonna have to be like hard and fast.
It's hard for Kled to maybe commit in. He doesn't even have his first item yet. You're seeing 2 items come out pretty much across the board. Across the entire map, Zeri 2 items on Kassadin, almost 2 items on Juicebox Hero, not barely an item. The Eclipse and the Brutalizer out for Toph, so he's pretty far behind. Hasn't completed full boots. J4 up nearly 100 gold, looking for that Flame Horizon pretty soon.
Nearly 100 CS, much more than 100 gold.
Oh, sorry, 100 CS. My apologies.
Yeah, up 2.2k gold.
Chad, I apologize. English is my first language. I'm just quite a bit of a lead in that top side there. And again, just like last game, that was not a build pivot. That just seemed to be the plan. Take Eclipse, win early, get Winter's Approach, never die.
Yeah.
This game, it looks like he might be building a damage item. Yep, he is going to get a Tiamat. He's going to probably go Titanic Hydra for the third item instead of a tank item, or true tank item for the third item. I guess Titanic Hydra's a bit of a tank item. Gives health.
What did they ban in this game? Instead of banning J4,
they banned Zac and Aatrox were the top lane bans from Large Scale Disparity.
I don't know. This J4 seems to be an absolute problem, and it was a problem. Like
yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't the problem last game. It was a
J4
problem
was
last
massive last game. It was a huge, probably their biggest problem last game. And did they come up with a solution to it? I don't know.
I don't know about that one. Looks like the Profane Hydra is going to come out for Etoe, so even behind, they'll still do good damage.
Okay, J4 is
Four
not there.
members pressing
J4
into the
teleport
jungle.
is about to be. It's not currently up, but it's about to be back up.
Yeah, that could be
Kled is
big.
here, but I mean, if J4 gets to teleport back up, they're gonna have
Yeah,
a tough
everyone's
time here.
posturing for a fight, but guys, J4 is about to come in. He
J4
comes,
teleport is
able
up.
to kill the ward. They can't stop him. Here comes Red Strike, huge ultimate, 2 airborns, no more Dredge Line. Uh-oh, here he comes. J4 is in there now. No more Volibear. Sweet Wind about to go down next. Never mind, it's Toph at the top side of the fight. Fish Guy runs away, but it's not enough. That's a 5 for 0. The cleanest ace you could ask for. Sweet Wind's gonna put up a fight, but it's not enough. He goes down. Easy as you like. Katsumi teleporting in, doing massive damage. Again, a problem on the J4.
They have to pull that trigger.
J4 alive.
They have to pull that trigger before J4 comes in. Like, they have to pull that trigger. They Kled ult. I don't think I heard a Kled. I don't think there was a Kled ult.
Kled did not ult. Charge is still up.
Yeah, I feel like that's a mistake. Like, you gotta pull the trigger. You had the lead at some point here. Whenever you do that, you have to pull the trigger. You have the easiest trigger pull probably in the game.
Yeah, the lead definitely not in Large Scale Disparity's favor anymore.
In fact, they just got objective bounties.
Yeah, they just objective bounties come up.
Yeah,
that's
whenever the game lets you know. Whenever the game lets you know, you guys are behind. Like, this is the game telling you.
Yeah, 3 members of 3 members of the Mighty Throws now on bounties. The farm bounty for Katsumi so large, he has a 700 gold bounty with only 4 kills.
Yeah.
He has a full 100 CS
also
on
the
his
Flame
opponent.
Horizon is there now. We do have the Flame Horizon in the top lane, which is a problem. I mean, it has 3 items. That is an absolute monster up there. I don't know what they're gonna do about that. They have to fight around him. Hope he's in the side lane, and then charge.
Yeah, they're
Find
gonna
catch
have to
people out. You
find
need
some opportunity to take him out. That's a lot of gold just sitting on that enemy top laner. The objective bounties is, it's something to play around. It's something to help you, but you're down 3 dragons to 1, and I feel like Infernal's one of the more impactful souls.
Yeah, also, I don't know what happened here. They probably shouldn't be down 3 dragons. They were ahead in the bot side early game.
I think this comes back to something I kind of touched on. Their draft, even though they got some good picks, their draft felt a little disjointed to me.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have one clear identity, and I think that is something they're suffering from. They're not sure whether they need to ball up and go in, whether they need to play front to back and kite. They seem to be wanting to do both, and that's not quite how the game works.
It's very, very tough to do. They don't have a lead anywhere now, I don't think. They technically have a lead on their jungle, but that's not real. It's like 400. So they're down down 5k overall right now. They have since the game was at 7-3, essentially if you think about it like runs, there's like a 9-1 run right now in favor of the Mighty Throws. This has just been sliding.
And that's if you don't count the objectives, because in that time LSD got the first dragon. It's been 3 dragons straight for the Mighty Throws. and it might
Ooh,
be a
the Dredge
Baron
line.
soon. Dredgeline caught out. The Calamity comes down, but Fish Guy able to get away. Out come Sparks
Fish Guy
Fly.
gets a
Here he
good
goes,
round.
getting Q's down. Volibear goes down, but so much damage on Defiance, he's traded back. Red Strike now going low. Toph is able to pick up that kill. Sad Dragon Man gets the root down, is getting ulted on by Sweetwind. Good damage coming out. Sweetwind goes down, but Katsumi trades back the enemy ADC. Wish about to go down, and this is ultimately looking like a good trade for large-scale Disparity. Katsumi doing good damage, is able to pick up the kill on Sweetwind. Is this going to be where it all goes wrong? Triple kill for Katsumi. Can Toph win the 1v1? He's got the health advantage. Looking a little shaky, but ultimately he is going to pick up the massive shutdown on that enemy J4. Oh, man.
Look at all those sparks, those embers that flew out of him whenever he died. But oh, boy. That was almost a really good fight that was going to lead to an objective. But then J4 just was alive, just stood up. He's like, oh, I'm taking you down with me. And he took down 3 of them.
You said it so well earlier, where they were weak siding this top side, and they're gonna get to a late game team fight and be like, what the hell? Why has J4 got so much gold?
Yeah, like, oh man, that man is so strong.
Triple kill, my goodness.
Oh, he's so strong. And incredible.
Yeah,
That's a good clip right there. If someone wants to clip that.
If it's when you're behind, I do generally favor just make the trades. Even if it's like an even trade, even trades are winning trades.
I mean, that was definitely good for. There's no mistake that was definitely good for. My God, why can't I think of it?
It could have been better.
Large skill disparity. It could have been better. It definitely could have been better. It was good for large skill disparity. Definitely could have been better.
Well, here comes one of the more important fights. Large scale disparity gonna have to opt for this one as it's the sole point, but it doesn't matter. Out comes so much CC all at once. All on top of Sweetwind, who has his Zanyas, but he goes down anyways. Katsumi picking up another kill. This guy is just a monster right now. Sad Dragon Man picking up 2. Sad Dragon Man pushing forward. Down goes Dredgeline. Wish picks up that one. Katsumi still pressing.
Yeah,
and that's another dragon, and that will be so.
J4 is immortal. J4 is immortal.
Fish Guy stepping forward, maybe looking for the steal. Hits Sad Dragon Man, comes over the wall, and nothing doing. Not going to find a kill. Down he goes. Here comes a Baron for the Mighty Throws, and this gold lead is just ballooning.
Okay, I don't know. That's going to be the Soul and the Baron. That's probably leads to the end of the game here at 30 minutes. Once again, they got the lead early. Once again, it fell apart. I think if you're Let's Get Disparity, you're gonna have to analyze what's going wrong here. What's happening in this mid game? What's happening to this transition between those early game leads and not leading to late game wins?
Jarvan 4.
Yeah, Jarvan the 4th, the heir to the throne. That's what is.
Heir to the Demacian throne, Jarvan the 4th. He is not happy with you, and he's making it known.
Yeah.
2 tank items, 2 damage items. He doesn't really know what he's building. It doesn't matter.
He's immortal.
He doesn't die. He does all the damage. Everyone's wearing those purple cloaks, playing it safe, biding their time. They're in the lead at this point. No need to make stupid plays. Katsumi gonna give everybody on his team a blue buff. Here they come. Now they're pushing a wave into mid. Everyone's getting a little antsy. The tower goes down. Here they come. This could be a terrible fight, though, because here comes Katsumi on the teleport. If they don't get any kills fast enough, here he comes, the J4. He's present. He's getting a triple kill, a quadra kill. Is it the rare J4 Penta? No!
Oh my God, Brom!
Run, Shrike!
What? Oh man. Oh my God.
How could you do this?
Top J4 broken, I guess. I guess so.
So
Interview Katsumi, yeah, it's pretty. I think that's a pretty easy.
hey guys, hey Etoe, I would like to interview Katsumi, please.
I think so.
I'm not even looking at the damage stats yet. I don't care. Holy crap, that's 30,000 damage on Jarvan. Nearly 1,000 damage per minute on Jarvan. My goodness is the answer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There is some damage from J4 there. And that's going to be the 2-0 in favor of Lard's
Mighty Throws.
Of the Mighty Throws, not Lard's Go Disparity. Man, oh man. Oh, he's deafened right now. Let's see, let me message him.
Is he deafened?
Maybe he's watching the stream.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll ask him. This is the Ghost said. That is one way to avoid it. He said BRB. Oh, he said he'd be right back. My God, what the?
I think I peaked my mic a little there at that end, man. You ruined it. You ruined the J4 Penta.
All right, we got no thanks. Let's get someone else from that team. Who else do we get? We got let's see who's the first person that said that in chat. Bring me in, Sad Dragon Man. Okay, let's bring in Sad Dragon Man. The ADC, Sad Dragon Man. We did cast a booth. Yeah. Whoops.
What's up, man? You're here.
Sorry, it's too late. You said bring me in. That's what happens.
Hi. So first of all, I'd just like to say, report Red Strike 99 taking defensive kill.
Oh yes.
I agree.
We saw the Quadra, and then we're like, wait, who got the fifth one? And then out of my eye, I see Braum has killed. I'm like, okay, this guy has stolen the kill immediately. This guy.
I don't think you understand the. I know you got the fourth kill, Red Strike. That's not the point.
Is it really?
You don't understand the scream that came from me when that J4 pentakill didn't happen. I think I peaked the stream's audio levels. Oh man. Anyways, good 2-0 today.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Both games started kind of rocky for you guys, but you were able to recover. Is that a mental thing or is that a planning thing?
It's both. It's definitely both. I mean, in the beginning, our big mental is not something I worry about. I know the mid laner mental is a little rough, but wish, but then we're always there to make sure he's doing well, and he's been improving a lot. I'm really thankful for having him improve.
Hopefully, mental wasn't too affected by the chat talking about him building the Roa at 23 minutes.
I like to point out really quickly. First game, I was walking back to lane. I pressed tab and I see the first item build.
The catalyst. Yeah, I think that's the same. That's the same time where chat was like, "Wait a second, is he building Roa at 20 minutes?"
I saw 32 stacks on the Archangels. I'm like, wait, this guy. I didn't say anything. At the time, but I saw that Archangel's tier stacks, a completed item. I was like, that's a little sus. But yeah, I mean, the mental thing is something we've definitely been working on, especially our first week. Our mental was a little bit off, but I think together as a team, we've been improving on our mental. And for the planning, gotta give out a little bit of a shout out to my jungle and my support. They've been planning and scouting out teams pretty well.
That's
for
Red Strike
planning,
in Defiance, right?
Yeah, Red Strike in Defiance. Yep. And during the game, especially the first game, I knew we were gonna struggle up in the beginning, but we were telling each other hey, their only damage is Caitlyn, and so once we just jump on Caitlyn, it's probably much GG's. So we just have to stick it out and we'll win late game for sure. And also our macro play these past two games have been really strong, and I'm really happy that my team is listening to my macro because I've kind of been the IGL and the person kind of going with the drafts. And so for example, I was obviously Xayah is not my biggest champ, And but I was like, hey guys, put me on Zaya. Like then there's no need to worry to kill me, and you guys can focus on the damage. And clearly it worked, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I think, sorry, like I think the drafting and just the IGL that I've been pulling out has been really good. But also I'm really thankful for my team because they're listening, right? And I appreciate a team that listens a lot more than anything else.
Yeah, that's huge.
So yeah.
I know we brought you in here for the interview, but I feel like we have to talk about the elephant on the rift, and that is Katsumi just J4 moment.
Yeah. He's absolutely our biggest powerhouse on the team. He's obviously like he's one of our best players. And like, hey, if they're not gonna ban the J4, we'll just put him on it.
After that first game, it was like, yeah, well, maybe we don't need to ban J4. After game 2, it was like, damn, why didn't we ban J4? Like, he just did the same thing 2 games in a row. And now the future teams are like, hey, probably don't let that guy get J4. That's why
I'm like looking at it, and you'd be like, the J4 is like, I don't know. It's there's no way that's a top pick, right? And then he has 3 games played on J4, 2 of which are these last 2 games.
That's so ghostly,
and man, does he look scary in those 2 games? Is it you guys knew that was a pocket pick? You planned around it going in?
So I remember the first time he brought it up to us, like, hey guys, what if you guys put me on J4? And so we practiced it only like a few games. Like I think we only played like 2 games with it, and we're like, oh wait, like this is like popping off. Like we have to like put him on this. And so we all of our games I don't know if it was like planned, but like we didn't put him on J4 in in our practices. And like, hey, it's technically a pocket pick. These guys don't know about this J4 top, right? So, I mean, it works out.
What a way to announce it to the world. Were you guys concerned in that last draft about giving over Nautilus to a guy named the Dredgelord?
Absolutely not. It was actually planned.
It was planned.
Yeah. So after the first game, we're like, okay, guys, let's just put this guy on Nautilus, and after that, they're gonna play a team that go alls in. Like, so we'll just play like Zaya. We'll play like Cassiopeia. And so that's what we planned. Like we knew they were gonna pick the Nautilus, so we're just like, hey, just give it to him. Like we win this no matter what. It'll be rough in the lane because obviously he's like a really good Nautilus, which he is. He's like a really cracked Nautilus, but like we knew like a way to play around it. So nothing that we were too worried about.
That's fair. That's another thing. That's another good draft thing, especially in like a league where you have information on a team that you're gonna be playing again, or like you'll see, or you see them play against other teams. I think if you can figure out what makes someone's like one trick powerful and how they want to play against it, and you can plan around that, then being able to give them that pick lets you be able to predict how they'll draft, and then you can like plan around that. So I think that's kind of all like the calculus of draft preparation. Like, okay, let them have their pick, and I know what type of comp they want to play with that pick, and we're gonna plan around that so we can like, and then it just kind of helps your own draft, right? Like if you know how they're gonna play. I love that you guys did that. I love that explanation.
That's I mean, like, I think it also shows like we had 680 like in total. Like
yes,
everyone had 6 ADC
last 6 ADCs banned in game 2 was insane.
Yeah, so we were I mean, we were deciding, hey, whether I'm either gonna go Lucian or Zaya, and once they ban the Lucian, I'm like, okay, guys, just put me on Zaya. Like it's so easy now. So, I mean, we knew to play around it. We knew how we were gonna pick it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Any shout outs, any call outs you want to do before we let you go?
Obviously, I just want to thank my whole team. I've been playing sick for like this week and last week, and still recovering a little bit. But I'm so thankful to my team for kind of just listening and just being serious about everything. Especially like also this mid laner. I think he's improved the most out of everyone here. Like
shout out to Wish.
Our mid laner is like obviously not our best player, but like we sat down with this guy and we're like, hey, and if you could get like some practice in and like try to get, like outside of our practice times, we appreciate it, and this guy has been running a ranked solo every day to try to practice, and I'm really thankful for him because also he did a lot of sus TPs a lot back then, and so like now we kind of reformed him to like not do that kind of stuff. But I want to absolutely just shout out my mid laner because also everyone was like dunking on this guy for that build in Veigar, but hey, he pulled out. He was going crazy. late game. So I mean, yeah, I just want to
Fantastic.
shout out Monly, my mid laner as well.
Any shout outs for your opponents? How do you think they played? I mean, you guys ended up with the 2-0, but in both games you kind of talk about mental. Both games you were down early. They did win the early game in both games, and well, at least just in terms of golden kills. Do you have any shout outs for them, or how do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they played absolutely beautifully in the beginning. Like they're obviously I can't see what's going on in like top lane and stuff, but I know that their bot lane, especially when they were playing Caitlyn, he was doing really well at sidestepping and kind of just knowing when to go in. That Maokai pick was kind of fucking up Bright Strike in lane. So I really want to give it to these guys. They're really putting us on our toes here. But I do want to say there were a lot of macro stuff that we were just able to out macro them, like especially that first game. Like we had a consensus to just everyone go top and push that tower and have J4 push bot, be on the bot lane, just push that tower. And I don't know if you guys saw, but they were scrambling around, going up down, trying to see who to get rid of. But I think they're definitely a really great team overall. But the practice, some macro practice needs to be played a little bit.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Do you have any other questions, Super Bro?
No, next week on BTL, we attempt media training with our players.
No, I think that was perfect. Nah, I don't want any type of media training.
If anything, I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah,
right?
no, I love that.
You're never gonna get that level of honesty out of
LCS players.
out of the tier 1 leagues. Only here.
No, I love that. Absolutely
No,
love
that's
that.
No, definitely. We appreciate you being honest. We appreciate you talking to us. I'm good to go, man. I'm happy with what we got.
All right, and then tomorrow, I believe, I don't think we have any reschedules for tomorrow. So tomorrow we should be back here at 6 p.m. EST with Frost Lions versus Spectre. I'm going to throw you guys over to actually Risen Esports. They've given us a host a few times. They're Risen Esports 2 looks like they are doing Risen Rampage Spring quarterfinals. Big Bongo Boys versus Dynasty Paradox. Oh, look, a Dynasty. A Dynasty team. Dynasty with Sapphire was in BTL last season. Dynasty, I don't think the leader of Dynasty, if it's still Golden, I don't think she likes me very much. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and throw a host over to Risen Esports. They've given us a host many times. If you guys want to still catch some amateur League of Legends gameplay, then go check them out. And we'll be back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. EST. And I always say that, and I time it so that I would hit enter whenever I finish that, but then I forget that I have to wait 10 seconds for the raid to actually go. So, that's why I said that sentence. And now I will be sending you guys over to Risen Esports. Go say, hey, BTL raid or something like that. I don't know, but go check them out, and we will catch you guys here at tomorrow at 6 p.m. EST.